Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Joe. If you're new here, I'll be uploading a new video every week, trying to share some more about my journey in InfoSec, and hopefully we'll learn something together. If you would, please leave a comment below on some of the topics that you're interested in learning about. Maybe I've never heard of them. I'll do some research and see what I can do from there. Tonight I want to share that I'll be starting a new journey. My new journey is the Oscp certification. And I've been at it for a little bit, but I want to go over some of the who, what, why, when, and where, those 5 W's that we all consider when we're thinking about new things. So stick around for the video and, of course, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz, and hope you enjoy. Okay, like promised, we're going to flip over to the desktop and I'm going to show you a little bit from one of my VMs and how I'm preparing for things, some of the publicly and readily available information on Offensive Security's OSCP. Okay, all right, I'm going to flip over. Okay, so if you're interested to know a little bit more about how I'm preparing for this, this is the 24-week plan. I'm trying to give myself enough time just because, this is a tough exam. This is a practical exam. It's not the easiest thing in the world. But there again, your mileage may vary. If you've been in this industry doing pen testing for a while, maybe this is coming natural to you or you're not going to have big issues with it. But for me, I'm still learning. Okay. So this is also one of these certifications that was at the top of my list that I've always wanted to go after. I've just never had the opportunity, or I was just too afraid to go for it. But I'm not going to let that get in the way. I'm going to just go for it this year and see where we land. Okay. So real quick, this page here is readily available. Anybody can get to it. Sorry, it's late, so I'm kind of misspeaking a little bit. It's been a long day. But anyway, OffSec or Offensive Security, now kind of rebranded as OffSec. This is the Pen 200. That is the PWK. That is essentially your OSCP. Okay. And this is the certification that I'm going for. They have a 12-week plan. If you're trying to fast pace this joker, great for you. I'm going to stick with the 24-week plan, mainly because I think it fits better for my family time and all of that good stuff. All right, so from here, I'm not going to dive into it. If you want to go to that resource, I'll have these linked in the video description below. Here is kind of like the who is this for and why you should consider it, okay? So at first glance, testing with Kali Linux here, or penetration testing with Kali Linux, is the OSCP certification. So Offensive Security, they are the ones that make Kali. We're essentially learning from these trainers. Okay. Now the benefits of the course itself. So you've got a couple things here. You increase OSCP preparedness with OffSec's Academy, expert instructor-led streaming sessions. One thing, after I've been in the environment, it took me a little bit to get used to kind of like if you think their online book or their online materials. It's pretty straightforward. It's not too hard. You got a lot of different topics here that it hits on, and essentially it helps you, walks you through the development of an adversarial mindset. About the exam, essentially this is a 24-hour exam. This is a practical exam. There's no A, B, and C questions here. You are literally trying to compromise 3 systems that are standalone and then an Active Directory network. Who is the course for? InfoSec professionals transitioning into a penetration testing role. Now, you could be a network admin, security professional. To me, I would say, even if you want to be a good blue teamer, right? You want to be in network defense. Sometimes it's helpful just to understand that adversarial mindset to write those specific things that you need or rule sets, right, to detect these types of attacks, right? So maybe you're trying to develop countermeasures to these types of attacks. Prerequisites, understanding right here, solid understanding of TCP/IP networking. Why is that important? Well, mainly because what you're going to find is that you have to know how computers communicate, systems communicate, servers, things communicate on a, OSI or network level. Okay, so the TCP/IP stack, if you're not familiar with it, I would not suggest going for this certification and spending that type of money doing that. Okay, reasonable Windows and Linux administration experience. So in previous roles, I've had some of that experience. I feel like I'm pretty much ready for that. Familiarity with basic Bash and or Python scripting. So with this, I'll give a shout out to TCM Security here. I've purchased their materials a long time ago, back in the OG days whenever things weren't under a subscription model, and I own those courseware. I just haven't gone through them all just yet. So that will be some of my co-training, if you will, and I'll be going along through some of those modules along with the modules inside of offensive security. Okay, so here I clicked on the OSCP prep book, which is this. So how do you prepare for it? I did go out and buy the Learn One subscription. During Christmas time, they usually give like some really good discounts. And so I took a leap of faith here and said, okay, I'm going to set out my goal for doing this, and I'm going after this certification. Okay. Tells you a little bit about what the modules are there and what it's included. Deepening your understanding, which I will say so far the material that I've covered, some of it was stuff that I already knew. I'm probably at about lesson 8, I believe, so far. But, I'm trying to do all of this in between family, work, and stuff like that too. So it was revamped in 2023, and there's some new things that they've included, some of the methodology, different challenge labs, all of that stuff. Okay. So I would do your due diligence and dig through some things. I will point out a few things here. They do have a Discord channel. Tells you about that adversarial mindset that they're trying to instill with their learning modules. Give yourself good ample time for preparing, right? So for me, I tell everyone whenever I sit down and I talk through in a mentor session about what are those goals that you're going after? What do you want to be when you grow up, right? So yes, some people can go out and do this stuff for a job. Some people really want to do this because it's a passion. For me, this is a passion. I get up in the morning, sometimes 2 hours early. Sometimes I go to bed 2 hours later because I want to give my family time, their interaction, and be able to still have family time, but then also be able to study before they get up in the morning or after they go to bed. Okay. So that's a hit I take. Everybody's different. You just have to figure out where your time fits in and how you can go after your goals. Okay. All right. So remember to take a pause, take a break. Again, this is mental health month. Everybody's got a busy pace in their life. Everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. Just maintain your mental health, right? Because you can get burnout on different things, but not going to harp on that too much. Everybody deals with stress differently. Okay. All right. So course exam resources, some of the things they have embedded in here are some YouTube videos, YouTube links. I will say immersion is a good technique. What I mean by that is get involved, join a Discord community. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there. There's folks on LinkedIn that will be willing to help you and point you into the right direction. I've been seeing a good bit from the Security Rex. If you're following her channels at all, she's really great. TCM, the Cyber Mentor. There is InfoSec Pat. Those are just to name a few. And of course, if you need some more brush up on networking, David Bombal, of course, they're all really great ones to watch. Really doing a great job out there of giving away a lot of free education. Okay, so that's enough about that. And let's move down to some of the exam prep slides here. So when I click on this, it brings up the other slides. Something I liked about these slides is it kind of gives you an idea of your expectations going into your preparation for the OSCP. The 3 independent machines would be essentially quote unquote harder to compromise because they're one-offs, okay? So as you see here, for low privilege, you get essentially 10 points and 10 points for the privilege escalation. So getting, admin or root level user, okay? Now, the domain controller, it has 2 clients and 1 domain controller, or 1 DC, okay? So essentially, if you think about it, if I can compromise the domain controller, I should, in theory, be able to compromise the other 2 machines through deployment mechanisms and other things, because what happens inherently in that domain controller, it trusts the other 2 machines will trust the domain controller, okay? All right, so some bonus points here. One thing that I'm striving to do is go through all the materials and also go through their lab machines. One thing that I found tonight, which was very interesting, is the study approach and some of the blog posts that are linked here, and I'll bring it up in a second. But the likelihood of success, not necessarily that they're trying to tell you, hey, do this many machines and you will pass, right? But the likelihood and the percentage of people that passed also did this many machines, okay? And there's a little, went too far. Lab machines key to success. Greater than 50 lab machines completed, meaning that the likelihood of you succeeding and being successful on your exam is greater, okay? So 60% to 67% that did more than 50 machines, okay? And essentially some of the things that I'm going through right now is getting my report writing skills up to par, okay? So they give you a great template for you to use, and essentially it breaks down things to where you're supposed to give them everything from the port numbers to the root flags, and all of the, like, where to place the screenshots, all that good stuff. And then that's probably what everybody thinks of as like the hardest part, for me at least. I don't know about everybody else, but I think for me that would probably be the hardest part, is understanding how to compile my notes and then put that into a report. So what I'll tell you that I am doing is that I am going through TJ Null's list, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So I'm going through the TJ Null list and I'm picking out specific machines, and I am, while I'm going through those boxes, I am also capturing my notes and trying to mimic what I would do for the report side. So one key thing is everybody wants to be a hacker, but what everybody doesn't understand is that people don't pay for you to do the pen test. They pay for your report that you generate at the end, okay? Keep that in mind. They don't pay for your pen test. They pay for the report, okay? It's all for some form of government compliance or regulatory compliance that they have to meet, and they're doing that usually, and not in all cases, but they're trying to check a box, but also understand what their risk is to the organization, and then how do they go about remediating it, right? And all of those steps should be provided in some form of a report, okay? All right, enough about that. Let's keep going. Okay, so time management, good pieces of information here. Be careful for the slippery slope of, you got 24 hours to compromise 6 machines. If you take 2 hours per machine, okay, and then you still have to eat lunch, eat dinner, you need to take some time to break away and go for a walk or do something. Take some time for yourself to recharge. Don't just bang energy drinks all day long and try to just push through the entire 24 hours, because guess what comes after the report? So writing your report, get a good night's sleep, refresh your mind, and then you have 24 hours for the report. There is time to rest, okay? Going over the TJ Null, I said I was going to mention that. The TJ Null list, they've done a good job of revamping it and putting some new things out there. I currently do not have a Hack the Box membership, but I will more than likely be getting one just because I want to prepare for this as much as possible. Okay, so Proving Grounds practice and the play sections. And then of course you've got some Vuln Hub machines that you can go out and search for and pull down. And from what I understand, Vuln Hub or Vuln Lab, excuse me, these machines are essentially like decommissioned offset boxes that either have been reproduced or put out there for people to go and try pen testing skills or get into it. And then of course there again, why OSCP is a rigorous test for practical skills, and it's usually always been touted as being the gold standard. So I will be showcasing my note-taking app in a different video just so that I can give it a fair shake, give it a good bit of time. But I'm using Obsidian, and one of the things for me was learning how to use Markdown, use, I believe it's pandas to export the reports in a specific syntax. And then of course I've got a lot of cool little community plugins that I like. So Hacker-Hermanos, I believe it is, has a good little, I guess you'd call it Obsidian vault. A vault is where it keeps everything, all your different notes in there. And I downloaded it. It was actually really good. It has a lot of different little things in it. But there again, Obsidian, I'll put out a different video for that. And but yeah, that so far is what I'm going through from my OSCP journey, and I'm trying to take it at least daily, 1% better each day. After 100 days, I'm 100% better than I was 100 days ago. Take this journey with me, and thank you for watching the video, and like, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.